Did any of you know this thing existed? Because I didn't. Apparently, there's an Edison Format Rules quiz on the website that I've never looked at and never taken. So, figured I'd do a little bonus video where we just go through here and see how familiar I am with the rulings of the format. I consider my ruling knowledge to be middling at best, to be honest. I'm definitely not a judge, but some of these questions looked really easy when I was looking at it, so maybe I'll get a good score anyway, and hopefully we'll all learn something from this experience. So without further ado, let us begin the rules quiz. Now the first question is just like completely free. Does the starting player draw a turn? Yes. Okay. I don't know. Were these supposed to like trip up modern players or something? So the second one, if Necrovalley's on the field and the other player activates Mountain, which, why are they activating Mountain? I don't know. But if they did, Necrovalley would be destroyed, so will Necrovalley be destroyed? Yes. Can a monster be equipped with more than one Union monster at a time? I actually don't know this one at all, but I think the answer is no. I'm completely not sure why that would be the case, but I just have this feeling that it's no for some reason, so we're going to go with that. Player A discards Malicious Special Grepher, and the other player has Crow. Alright, you can prio banish the Malicious before they get to Crow, so the answer is yes. Yeah, okay. Sangan over Caius. Can Sangan be chainlink too? No, you cannot chain block like that in Edison format. So the answer is no. For some reason in Edison format, whenever this happens, the graveyard effect is just always chainlink 1 whenever anything like this happens, and I don't know why. It doesn't really make sense, because like the Sangan going to the grave can't really be said to happen before the Caius hits the field. It's like a simultaneous sort of thing, but in Edison it's like not treated as that. It's like treated as the Sangan goes graveyard first, and then you summon the Caius. So Sangan just has to be 1 because it hit the grave before the Caius was summoned. It's probably the same for the justification for the rivalry ruling too. But I really don't get it. And then again, it can't be the same as the rivalry ruling because the rivalry ruling doesn't apply to like synchro summoning. Whereas like this one, I think this ruling applies to synchro summoning as well. Where like if you synchro with an optional effect, like, I don't know, Beast of the Pharaoh Black Rose is the only thing I can think of, but you can't chain block that either, so at least I don't think you can. So it's just a weird Edison specific ruling. Does Prisma reveal or send as cost? No, it does not. It sends for effect, and literally anything will stop it. It's just why I don't like that card. Mystical Elf attacks Vayu. What the hell is going on in your Edison format duel if Mystical Elf is attacking Vayu? Alright, anyway, on to the actual question. During damage calc, player A discards Honest as chainlink 1. Can player B discard Kalut in a separate chain? No. There can only be one chain in the damage calculation, which makes, I don't know, cards like Honest and Kalut are just really convoluted in that way. But yeah, that's how that works. So the turn player just always wins, essentially, in that interaction. Although Honest generally just beats Kalut in most situations, period. Regardless of if you're the turn player. Okay. Player A attacks with Thunder King. You can't Thunder King. Trag. No. Trag far too powerful for that. What is this? So we're attacking a giant soldier of stone with a red drag. Again, what is going on in your Edison format duel? Why are we playing giant soldier of stone and mystical elf and mountain? That's kind of wild. Can you use my body to negate the effect in the damage step? Now, there's like multiple layers of why I don't think you could do this. Like, first of all, shouldn't the giant soldier have already been marked for destruction or something? I guess if there's other monsters, but then you just can't use my body in the damage step at all. Like, I don't know why. It makes no sense whatsoever that you can use like spell speed 2 monster effects that negate, like Stardust or Orange Light in the damage step, but you just can't use spell traps that are spell speed 2 that negate like my body in the damage step. I don't get it whatsoever, but you can't. But I guess it's good that you can't, otherwise you'd be able to oppression in damage step, and then that would be just so toxic. So I don't know. I don't really, I'm not fully aware of why, but that is the way it is ruled. Okay, I feel like that's going to be my answer to a lot of these questions. So we're summoning Necroface under Future Visions. Wild, based, insane. I gotta go build a Necroface Future Visions deck now that I think about it. I guess the problem is there's only one Necroface, but okay, the effective Necroface activates, so it puts back all the banished cards, and then Future Visions should be linked to removing it, and then it puts everything back. Will Necroface form a new chain to remove the top 5? The answer is yes. In Modern, it doesn't, because it has to stay in the trigger location to start a new chain. But in Edison, if it just ever hit the banished pile, it'll just activate and start a new chain. I kind of don't like the Modern ruling. It's really weird and non-intuitive, but maybe that's just the boomer in me, because that's not how the game used to work. So the answer is yes, it will still activate. So there we go. Aaron won't stop Snowman Eater. In fact, it won't stop any like flip effect like this. Snowman's not technically a flip effect though, but Aaron shouldn't stop it anyway because it just flips face up and it will still go off, right? I mean, that makes sense. Yeah. Full Helm attack Raikou. This is a cursed ruling. So the answer is that Full Helm will still activate, but I don't understand how. Like, it somehow activates on the field while it's in the graveyard to bring itself back from the graveyard. And that just doesn't make any sense. How is it activating on the field when it's dead? And if it activates before it's dead, then how is it targeting a monster in the graveyard that's itself if it's not in the graveyard? Like, it just shouldn't be possible. Like, no matter which way you think about it, it should not be possible for Full Helm to revive itself if Raikou kills it. Either it's on the field and it activates, in which case it can't bring itself back because it's not in the graveyard, or it's in the graveyard, in which case it shouldn't be able to activate. But it activates on the field while it's in the graveyard, which is just not how cards work. So I'm baffled by this ruling. I hope this is some like Edison specific judge screw up or something rather than the real way Full Helm works in all formats. But it's Yu-Gi-Oh, so I have my suspicions that it could just be the latter case. So what's the... Yeah, it can special itself. Alright, player has Blackwing Vayu and Sirocco Engrave, Royal Oppression, blah blah blah. So the answer is no, it's not removed from play. They can just keep doing it. Everyone pretty much knows that interaction with Royal Oppression. Alright, so we're summoning Debris Dragon for question 14, and we're bringing back Dandy. Synchro 7, will the effective Dandy? Yes, it will activate. Everyone knows this. It's extremely cool, extremely fun. Everyone loves Dandelion. Alright, we have a Degenerate Circuit on the field. That's wild. What are we playing Degenerate Circuit in? Brionac Turbo with 3 compulsory. Sounds a little wild. Alright, when player A enters a standby phase, okay, there's a maintenance cost to pay their remaining 500 life. I don't think you can pay yourself to death in Edison, which I don't know why, because I think paying yourself to death is pretty cool, but whatever. And lose the duel will... Okay, so the answer is no. Does Necrovalley negate the effect of Plague Spreader or Rekindling? No. Neither of them. The reason is that in Edison, Necrovalley only stops cards that target things in the graveyard or banishing from the graveyard, and I think that's it. And Plague can move itself from the graveyard, so Necro doesn't stop that, and Rekindling doesn't target, so, yeah. Necrovalley doesn't stop any of that. And then in Modern, Necrovalley just stops, like, everything for some reason. I'm not sure why they errated this thing so many times to make it more and more overpowered and a dumb floodgate, but that's how it is. But in Edison, Necrovalley is pretty worthless. It's kind of good for nothing. There's an errata after Edison that I think makes it stop Rekindling, but that's in, like, the Structured Deck Merrick that came out in the summer of 2010. Okay, does the flip effect of Raikou destroy one card or target? Wait, what? Does the flip effect of Raikou to destroy one card target? Okay, yes it does. Yes it does. In Modern it does not. I don't know why. It's so weird that they made this change to the card because it's completely irrelevant in just like every format post like 2012-ish. I don't know. Probably even irrelevant then. So, but yeah, in Edison it targets, in Modern it doesn't. We're summoning Debris Dragon, so in Lone Fire, attributing itself, no they can't. It's because it's not like skill drain. It's like it doesn't care where the lone fire is. It was summoned with the condition that its effect's negated, so even if you tribute it, it will fail to go off. Alright. Player A, end phase, they have 7. Discard for hand size, discarding White Stone, which is a mandatory trigger effect. I think White Stone will still activate. Even though I think White Stone should still activate, and then you just have to discard again. Even though discarding for hand size is supposed to be the last thing to happen. I might be wrong about this, but I think it should activate. So we're just going to say, yeah, it'll activate, and then you have to discard another card. That's my thinking on that. Player A normal summons Deep Sea Diva, activates effect, special summon, blah, blah, blah. Player B chains the quick like effect of their face-up royal oppression. Okay. Can they chain my body? Yes. Yes, they can. Now, this one's also super weird, because the way my body as a shield reads in Edison format suggests that it can only negate cards and not the effects of already face-up continuous cards. Like, wait. Okay, see, this is... I guess this is the text that would indicate that, but this is like problem-solving card text. The actual card text of the card in Edison format is just wrong, and it says negate the effect of a spell, trap card, or monster effect. So it shouldn't be able to negate a spell, trap effect, but in Edison it just can for some reason. I don't know why. I guess this accurate PSCT text suggests that it can, and that's just the way that it is. But the text of the actual card in that time period reads like it shouldn't be able to stop oppression or like Blaze Accelerator, but it can for some reason. So my body just doesn't work in the way you think it should ever. That's what you should conclude from this rules quiz. So we get to say yes. Yeah, so the answer is yes. Okay. Player A has 1 card remaining in their deck. They can't activate Avarice. It's kind of dumb that you can't, but that's how the game works. Okay, Drago, Future Fusion, no. Simple. You do not activate your Future Fusion for 5 head under Drago. It is not possible. Alright, there's an Ab-Zero on the field. Compulsory to turn the Ab-Zero. It will still destroy all the monsters. I think in Modern it doesn't. There's a lot of questions on here that are just here to trip up Modern players, aren't there? Kind of seems like it. Alright, we're equipping Armory Arm to Archfiend Soldier, giving it 2,900. Colossal is 28. Colossal is blah, blah, blah. Special summon. Will Armory's effect inflict 28? So the answer is just yes. You can Colossal OTK for some reason. Like, it shouldn't work. The way the card reads also doesn't seem like it should work. Armory Arm shouldn't be able to work this way, where it's like inflicting damage based on the graveyard stats of a card that's not in the graveyard, or it inflicts damage based on the stats that the monster had on the field somehow, even though it doesn't activate till the monster goes to the graveyard. So how's it even checking the stats of the monster on the field? And if it's checking the stats of the monster in the graveyard, how's it doing that when the monster is not in the graveyard, when the chain link resolves? So Armory OTK is just a ruling nightmare that shouldn't work, and is bad for gameplay too, but it is a thing in Edison format, so we just have to say yes. It's the painful truth. Player has 4 cards in their hand, activate, quick draw, special summon. They chain mine, oh god, not this one. But they end on the most cursed ruling of all of them, which is that quick draw starts a chain. So they should... Do they still send a monster when quick draw resolves? I don't think so. I do not believe quick draw is like Drill Warrior, where it resolves as much as mind crushing. The quick draw should just kill it, right? Like, I think it just dies, and then that's the end of it. I don't know if I've ever seen this exact interaction, but I think that's the way it works. So we're going to say no. All right, that is all of the questions that we have answered. I think, well, let's just check the answers right away. Do you think we missed any? I don't know. I can't. There were like a couple I was unsure about. I got a 100%. Let's go. We got them all right. Proof that I know Edison Format Rulings. Definitive scientific evidence that I know what I'm talking about, everybody. When I get in a fight with some idiot DB rando, I am actually always correct because I know 100% of Edison Format Rulings. The quiz has decreed it. You cannot deny it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this little bonus content. I think it was fun. I hope you learned something from this video, because there's just a lot of actually kind of obscure and stupid rulings in this quiz. They threw in, like, all of the non-intuitive, nonsensical ones, several of which I've covered before on the channel, were in here. So that was interesting. Alright, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, use my TCG Player affiliate link, become a channel member, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.